Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
Story I want to tell you today starts in a divorce attorney's office, my divorce attorney's office. I was, I think, like 29 years old, and I was at a crossroads in my life. And if you can just summon the feelings of despair, actually, please don't. I don't want you to start off feeling that way. But I was so full of utter and total despair and anxiety this particular day. I was sitting in my divorce attorney's office, totally unable to pay his bill, mind you. And he was trying to explain to me what alimony was. To be honest, I didn't know what it was. He explained that it was this transitional amount of money related to some formula related to the length of my marriage, and that it was designed to function as leeway so that I could get my feet on the ground and figure out how to take care of my three little tiny babies. I have three little babies. Those babies are now 26, 24, and 22. But at the time they were little, and I felt the weight of needing to be able to take care of them. But I didn't know how. I didn't even have a degree. I didn't graduate college because I started having babies when I was 21. So I thought the best I could do is get a minimum wage job, maybe be a coffee barista, but that wouldn't even cover the cost of daycare for three little kids. I really did not know what to do. He asked me, the divorce attorney, well, what are you good at? And I felt my face get hot with embarrassment because I knew that as I answered, I knew what it sounded like. I said, I'm good at fitness and art. And I was so embarrassed as the words came out of my mouth because probably if you're listening to this, possibly you're a group fitness instructor. If you're listening to this podcast, and we don't make a lot of money. And my gosh, there's a phrase called starving artists for a reason. It's really like the odds are stacked against you as an artist trying to make it professionally. So I said I was good at fitness and art. I was embarrassed to say it. And I decided to go all in with art. It's kind of funny, right? All in. If you don't know me yet, you're going to learn that when I'm all in, I'm all in. I'm like a dog with a bone and I don't quit. So I was all in with art, all in. Art shows everywhere, hustle galore. But I didn't really know business at that point, and I didn't have a network really at that point, and I failed miserably. I went into debt, actually. But simultaneously, little doors in fitness started opening up to me. Started with a little management job, a little Group X management job. That turned into a bigger one. And I started like hustling supplements that I believed in. And I became a master trainer for a mega company, Beachbody. And there was opportunities within those opportunities. I became a conference presenter. I helped not only test content before it was released to the instructor network of their instructors, but I also was contributing to the choreography itself, coming up with movement patterns and ideas. And I also got to fly to LA like every 8 weeks or so for a while, and they featured me in their instructor fitness videos, sometimes as a backup dancer, sometimes on the mic. And I learned that whole new set of skills, because teaching to a camera is like a totally different ball game than teaching to a class full of like smiley people. So I learned so much. I also became a Lululemon ambassador, and then an ambassador again, and now a legacy ambassador. And I got the dream job in fitness management at the most beautiful club. It's 100,000 square feet, historic building in the heart of downtown Eugene, family-owned business. It's a gorgeous facility. And I get to run the group fitness program there. So basically, I was so blessed. So blessed. And I want to talk to you today about why not you? And I just wanted to start with that story. My name's Ellen, and I have been in the industry for, oh my gosh, I have to say it's going to be 24 years in a couple of months. 24 years. I've been in the industry for a long time. And I want to encourage you today to think about yourself in a different light. I was at another crossroads after a decade or so of loving that Beachbody master training life and all the things I was doing. That company closed its operations. Boom, gone, lights out. So I was at a crossroads again, and I could have just, I don't know, a lot of my colleagues went into other things, other businesses, other fitness businesses. Some just kind of faded into I don't know where they are. I don't know where they went, because the pandemic also hit. And so many of them not only lost their job and their role and like me, a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment, but then the pandemic hit. So many opportunities were lost. So but I was at a crossroads, and I decided to create my own fitness brands. And one of the reasons I decided to do that is literally because I said to myself, why not me? I mean, I said that to myself so many times until I believed it. Why not me? Why not me? Why not me? And that's what I want you to say to yourself about your wildest dream, whether it be in fitness or whatever. Why not you? Who's going to do it better? Who's going to bring your unique sets of talents and experience and gifts to the table? Who can do that better than you? I think our default position is imposter syndrome, and to think that others are better equipped. I think our default human nature stance is to think we're not the one, and we're not cut out for it, especially if we don't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do what I was embarking on. I didn't know how to create a fitness brand. I didn't know how to write a manual. I didn't know how to get it accredited. I didn't know how to get it into gyms. I didn't know how to do any of the steps that I later took and later did. So especially when we don't know how yet, the default position is it's someone else. So this is our first episode. These podcasts are going to be different. I'm going to interview fitness professionals. Some of them are going to be funny. Some of them are going to be stories on stories on stories. Some of them are going to be just me, solo episodes. I got a lot to say. I was at a doctor recently and she told me that she was going to be retiring from her specialty area of practice and going into family practice and for therapy. And she said that tattoos, that women particularly, women and also men in prison, when they get tattooed, it's because they have something to say. It really means they're really trying to express themselves. So I looked at her and I said, well, then I got a lot to say. Better start me up a podcast. So on these podcast episodes, they're going to be fun. They're going to be funny. They're going to be meaningful. They're going to be touching. They're going to be stories, my contemporary stories, your stories. Every episode is going to end with a tip or a quote or a confession. I've got lots of confessions you're going to hear. Like the time I had a pair of thong underwear that was stuck to the Velcro of my cycle shoe. And I pulled my cycle shoes out of my bag, and little did I know, I showed my whole class my thong. That was one confession. I'll tell you that story someday. And then there was the time I accidentally referred to the jack off in the corner. But I was really talking about the two people that were doing jumping jacks so well. It just came out wrong. So every episode is going to end with a confession, a quote, a tip, some inspiration, something. My real confession to you today is that I have no idea how to podcast. Why not you? Be brave, be bold, and be blessed. See you next time.